I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to show you one of my go-to one-pot wonder weeknight dinners. This is my salsa chicken, and you know I make this really often if you watch our vlog channel because it is just full of flavor. It's really lean, and not that I really pay that much attention to that kind of stuff, but it's delicious, and it comes together really, really quickly, which I love. Now, the ingredients you'll need are few and basic ingredients. You'll need some chicken breast. This is boneless, skinless chicken breast. I've got a small onion, garlic, bell pepper. This is some crushed tomatoes, but you can also use some chopped tomatoes, whatever you got. It's a can. Some cilantro. I've got some dried cumin and some oregano, a little bit of water, salt and pepper, olive oil, and then some chili paste, or you could substitute chili paste with like a jalapeno that you've seeded. That simple, and you just chop it. Now let's get started. I've got a skillet there getting nice and hot over about high heat. I'm going to just season my chicken on both sides with some salt and pepper because I want to sear this. We're not going to sear this and to cook it all the way through. I just want to give it some color. So I'm going to do that in the pan, but the pan needs to get a little bit hotter. In the meantime, you can take your, onion, garlic, and bell pepper and cilantro and just put it in the food processor. I'm just going to finely chop this just because, why not? Just going to dice this really nice and fine. You could do this bigger. You could do it big chunks if you want to. It really is completely up to you. My skillet is really hot, so I'm just going to put my chicken seasoned side down, season the other side, and let these just sear for like a minute or two on each side, or until they develop a good amount of color. I'm going to grab a clean plate and finish dicing my vegetables. Got some beautiful color on both sides. I'm just going to remove it. Now this is not fully cooked through, and it doesn't have to be because we are going to finish it in the sauce. But now I'm going to add another tablespoon or so of olive oil. I'm going to turn my heat down slightly. Add another tablespoon of olive oil. And now I've got my peppers, onions, garlic, and I even have a little bit of cilantro that I've chopped. I'm going to add some of the cilantro now and then some of it at the very end. But I'm just going to add these in, season them with some salt and pepper, let them cook, let them soften, let them develop a little bit of color. And that is it. That's going to be like the flavor base to our salsa chicken. Now, I do make like a slow cooker version of this, which I'll show you in the future. But this is like really fast. If you just have these ingredients on hand and you got some chicken, this will work really great with pork chops as well. Some turkey sausages, some chicken sausages, anything like a lean white meat would work out really well. It would work out really well with fish too. Like it's got some tilapia, anything that's white, that would get absorb those flavors really, really well. I wouldn't necessarily do it with salmon because it is a much stronger fish, and I think that the flavors would just clash. Let those cook for just a few minutes until they, again, develop some color and soften up a little bit more, and then we'll carry on. That looks fantastic. Now I'm going to add a little bit of chili paste. Be careful because this can be really spicy. I'm just going to use that because that would be really strong. If you're not using chili paste, go ahead and just use a jalapeno, but you would add it when you add your onions and garlic and all that. I'm also going to add a splash of white wine or beer just to loosen up those bits. You don't have to. You can just skip this part if you want to, but adds a little extra something special, and it also lifts all those flavors that were like a little bit stuck on the bottom of the pan. Let that cook for like 30 seconds. That's looking perfect. And now I'm going to add my crushed tomatoes. Think of this almost like a quick cooking, really fiery, with attitude chicken cacciatore. That's kind of what down the same lines of that. And also my ground cumin and oregano. A little bit of S&P, and salt and pepper. Okay, and then we're going to let this cook for 5 minutes on its own, just to kind of bring it to a boil and get it to temperature, and then we are going to move on to the next step. We are that much closer to dinner. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to just slide my chicken right back in with all its juices because that's all going to cook together anyway. Kind of really get it into the sauce. Put the lid on, turn the heat down to medium, let this cook for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the chicken's fully cooked through, and then you will have an amazing dinner in your hands in no time. That looks great. Now, this makes a lot of sauce because I'm not using the, this recipe calls for 4 6-ounce chicken breasts. These are slightly smaller because it's just my husband and I, but I make the whole sauce because I love leftovers, because I just like to eat it over rice, over couscous, over anything. It's just incredibly flavorful. So keep that in mind. I'm just gonna add, I did season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. You just adjust the seasoning according to taste, you know, it's completely up to you. I'm gonna add a bit more fresh cilantro right in, just for some little freshness. And if you wanted to, you could also add in, when you do serve it, you could add a little piece, well, I shouldn't say a little piece, but like a little squeeze of lemon would be really lovely. I'm just gonna take a little piece for myself. Look at that thick sauce. Look how gorgeous that is with the peppers, and you can really smell the cumin. It's fabulous. This definitely goes over some rice for me. It's just delicious. Or couscous, or like I said, quinoa, or some bulgur, or anything like that that really soaks up that sauce. It's delicious. Or you could always serve it with a little baguette, a little piece of bread, and you're good to go. Let's give this a go. Once you make this, you'll understand why it's such a favorite in our house. It is jam-packed with delicious flavors. I just absolutely love it. We can't get enough of it, and I make it weekly because it's so delicious. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the written recipe. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.